Talking all things entertainment, this is Sherri Pullum in the studio with Dreamers Unite.
Accessible, adaptive fashion with model, content creator, and disability advocate, Maya Moore.
Hey Dreamers, and welcome to Dreamers Unite in the studio. I am Sherri Pullum, and for those of you, if it's your first time here on this channel, I say welcome. We are a channel where we dream, share, and manifest because I really want everyone to live their truest, most authentic self. And if I can help you through the stories that I bring and the stories that I bring through my guests, then I'm here for you. I'm all about it. So before we get started, I'd love to invite you to hit that subscribe button, follow us, and make some comments because we need some love. Show us some love too. As all of us, we really need more, I think, hope, joy, and inspiration in the world. So anyway, enough said about that. Let me talk about the fabulous guest that we are having on today. So this young lady, she is a model, she is a content creator, and she is a disability advocate. Who is it, you're asking? Her name is Maya Moore, and she is also my niece, my gorgeous niece, and I have been wanting to have you, Maya Moore, on this show forever. Welcome to Dreamers Unite in the studio.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here, and yes, it lined up perfectly, kismet.
It is kismet. I really want to talk a little bit about you, your journey, and what does beauty mean to you, and what made you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to live the way I choose to live and to let go of this prosthetic arm and be free of that. Tell us about that journey.
I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer when I was 14. And I was wholly unprepared, as most teenagers are, to go through just that level of adversity. I had my amputation at 17. So after multiple years of chemotherapy, I had my amputation, and it was one of the most challenging things I've had to do. As everybody knows, like being a teenager in general in this world and it is rough. So I just wasn't prepared for all of the like internal stuff I had to deal with going through not only being chronically ill, but facing disability. So post-amputation, my prosthetic limb became sort of like my security blanket. I wouldn't go anywhere without it. I would even go on dates with it. I would keep it on me as almost like I was sort of trying to replace something. So it became just this like really heavy baggage I carried with me everywhere. And it wasn't until lockdown that I really started to think about what I wanted my life to be like post lockdown. Like we were all inside. It was definitely a time for me, at least, of self-reflection, because I was, stuck inside with very little to do.
The pandemic, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I had never wore my prosthetic around like my friends and family. I would sort of have this external persona where I wore my prosthetic everywhere I would go outside, and then my inner circle or my family would see me without it. And during the lockdown, I wasn't wearing it, and I realized like, okay, I am way more comfortable without it than with it. So what would it look like for me to sort of bring this comfort, this sense of self outside of my little bubble? And it started with buying a $20 sewing machine from Amazon and cutting the sleeves off of my clothes. It was something to pass the time. I literally started when we were all watching Tiger King and started just, watching YouTube videos and slowly just getting the hang of it. And once I really started to think about, the clothes that made me feel like me, and was like, okay, I deserve to wear these clothes and feel my most comfortable. So I'm gonna cut the sleeve off of this like vintage top that I only wore, with my prosthetic arm. So that was the beginning. And as we slowly emerged from lockdown, I sort of faked it until I made it. with posting online, and I was terrified because there was a point pre-2020, there was no photos of me on the internet everywhere without my prosthetic arm. So August of 2020, I posted my first photo and I got, 800 likes on it. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Like, people want to see this, I guess. So yeah, it was the feedback I think I needed to keep trying and keep doing little by little until today I have 10,000 people that follow me.
10,000 Instagram subscribers.
Yeah, so,
right? And followers, I should say. First of all, Maya, listen, you know how emotional I can get. If you don't know, I can. But Maya, watching you and your journey, because I was right there with you. I've known Maya since, she's a baby. Auntie, like I said, proud auntie here. And just seeing you go through and grow through this time and that time of your life, for me, and I think for the world, that's why they wanted to see it. And that's why, because you're such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really are.
Thank you.
And what do you think has been some of the biggest challenges for you to get to this point? Mm-hmm. And whether people have disabilities, sometimes we're disabled in our heads, yes. Right? And we limit ourselves in our minds, right?
Yeah.
So maybe just giving people that great golden nugget of how do you really truly find yourself? And I started off by asking also about the beauty within and finding yourself in that way. So I throw a lot of nuggets out, so I'm going to catch this one from you.
I think the number one thing I've learned over the years is patience. That I truly believe that we're put on this earth to get to know and fulfill like our deepest, most authentic selves. I definitely did not understand, I think, that undertaking at the beginning, but my Auntie Val, who's my godmother and a friend of yours and my mom, she told me that seeing me, she would describe it as I had two coming outs. So I had my one where I stopped wearing my prosthetic, and then I had another one where I came out of the closet. And I think that being able to sort of like just come into yourself and trust that, okay, like the parts of myself that I may feel shame about or that feel like I might need to hide them or that I don't want to shed light on, or maybe some of the things that you should lean into and ask yourself why, sort of pull that thread. So for a lot of years, I never wanted to pull that thread. And I think once I started and realized, okay, what I'm afraid of is not being accepted, not being, seen as beautiful, not being seen as, capable in regards to my disability. And I realized a lot of those things I don't have control over, so how society sees me. So living within those constraints just felt suffocating, really.
Yes.
So finding that beauty was taking off of some of those constraints that were some self-imposed and then some, society had put on me. So it really was a coming into self, just acknowledging that a lot of the things I wanted to hide about myself are actually what make me myself and what make me me.
It's what makes you beautiful and special. Okay, Maya, hand me the nugget. Give me that nugget. Okay, listen, dreamers. Well, there's so much to unpack here, but what I will say is, loving yourself, it does start with you, not about what other people, like you said, you can't control what other people think about you. And what I loved is that you started this off with patience. Mm-hmm. Being patient with yourself, accepting yourself for who you are. And on days when you don't, just be patient. And it's okay. And I think the other thing that you said that's so poignant is to ask yourself, get curious about why are you afraid, right? Why are you afraid to really even truly love yourself and to truly show who you are? Okay, this is a big, heavy nugget, but I'm gonna take it, boom. There you go, dreamers. Just for you, catch that nugget. That's from Maya Moore. That's beautiful. So you're here for Fashion Week.
Yes.
So why don't you give us a little, for those who don't know anything about Fashion Week, what is Fashion Week? And tell us your involvement and how long you've been involved.
Yeah, so Fashion Week is definitely something I've been a spectator of for as long as I can remember. I've always loved fashion and clothes, but essentially what it is designers from each respective city will showcase their designs for, we are now in autumn winter, so they're showing their collections for autumn winter 2025. In April, they will start spring summer of 2025, and the schedule usually goes, so for New York Fashion Week, it's usually the 6th through the 11th, although brands will have events through, I would say maybe like the 14th, 15th, and that's New York, and then they go to London, and then Milan, and then Paris. So that's the Fashion Week schedule, and anybody who follows fashion knows that this is kind of like our Super Bowl. Like this is this is the big leagues.
Yes, and I should have said New York Fashion Week.
New York Fashion Week, yes. So my involvement, like I said, I've been a spectator for as long as I can remember. I would watch shows like on YouTube, online. So this is my second Fashion Week being sort of on the scene. So last year I did mostly previews of brands, showroom visits, where brands will invite potential clients or creators or influencers to come in, try the collection. You usually get gifted tons of beautiful clothes. And this year will be the first year that I'm going to be at my first fashion show. So I'm very excited for that on Sunday. It feels like prom all over again for me, and I'm very, very excited.
That is beautiful. Well, wait a minute. Can I come? I just want to know, can I come?
I mean, I could maybe sneak you in.
Yeah, maybe just sneak me in.
Maybe just sneak you in.
Like
we could share a seat.
Yes, sneak me in. But congratulations, Maya. That's awesome. How did you, so for those models who want to get involved in, New York Fashion Week, how did you get involved in that? Yeah,
it honestly was something that kind of felt like a combination or culmination of not only like networking, but putting in the work with brands that I wanted to build relationships with. So at the beginning, it really was just sort of coming to New York and, going to whatever free events I could find. And through that networking and, meeting people, it's like you never know who's in a room. So it's like I am someone who has social anxiety. So I usually have to put on my socializing cap, and I will go out, talk to people, ask them about themselves, about what they're passionate about, connect with their brand. And if their brand and me are, in line, then it's led to natural partnerships where they've either invited me to their events as their brands grow. So it's been cool to see brands that I was, maybe conversing with, years ago now throwing their own big events at New York Fashion Week. So my advice would definitely be network. And on social media, if there's somebody you see and you love what they're doing, connect with them. I think that social media, while it has all of these, downsides, one of the upsides is connecting with people. And that's how I've made the majority of my connections and getting to Fashion Week and meeting designers and other models. And
That's exciting. Okay, so we want to affirm with you, because this is Dreamers Unite after all.
Yes.
We want to affirm with you, what's your big dream? What's next?
Ooh, my big dream is to launch a brand of accessible clothing that is not only functional but stylish. One of the hard parts of accessible clothing now is that it feels really medical and cold. And in talking to peers, I know in regards to my situation that, just being in medical clothing or clothing that doesn't make me feel good is a little triggering. It brings me back to a place where I was in the hospital and, quarantine, going to chemotherapy and radiation. So it's again, that was a part of my life, and I, hug little me who was going through it. But it's I don't want to dress like that. I want to dress, for this season of my life, which is, all about, confidence and introspection and growth. So I want my clothes to reflect that. And I haven't seen a brand get it right yet. So I would love to step into that space and do it for myself.
I love it. Well, we affirm with you. Here comes your brand. Do you know the name?
Yes. So Well Done. Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Okay, claiming it with you.
Yeah.
Well done. Affirming it with you. I see it with you. Maya, I am so really deeply honored. I consider it a privilege not only to really just to be your aunt, that's privilege enough, okay? But just to know you, even if I was not related to you and your auntie, it is just an honor to witness such the beautiful spirit that you are. You're loving, you're kind.
Thank you.
And you're considerate. And sometimes when I watch you, you're so independent and really and truly, but I also want you to know in that independence, you always have a community, you always have family, and now this community of dreamers to lean and depend on. So well done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well done. We
Yes.
are going to be looking forward to that. I'm going to be looking forward to it. So Maya, I'm going to have you back.
Yes.
So we can talk more about your story.
I would love that.
I am working on a documentary with Maya and her family.
Yes.
So I'm super excited about that. We don't have the name of that yet though, people. So, but thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. Mwah. Love you.
I love you more. So dreamers, I know you don't want this to come to an end because I don't want it to come to an end, but I will be back. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe. Please comment. Join us, follow us at Dreamers Unite Show. We definitely need your support because now is the time for dreamers to create the world we wish to see. So keep dreaming bold with no excuses. And I'll see you again next time right here in the studio.